This is a maybe less than 10 minutes video where I'm walking the reach and frequency program cohort how to use our one of a kind our template to be able to fill out your reporting after optimization. This template is meant to be as easy as possible for you. Obviously, there are some preliminary steps to your optimization session. And I offer this guide in the program and also as a free download. But the biggest thing about this template in this 10-minute video is that you'll hear me finish up on the optimization and give them their next assignment, which include using the template I'm going to show you in the video. The template is available once you sign up the program. There are many things we do in this program, and I'll end with this. We make sure to not only teach you the fundamentals of programmatic media and activation, but let me tell you, I also give you hands-on keyboard training. That means we'll have opportunity to view a DSP or two or three. You'll have opportunity to set it up depending on which DSP is available for this cohort. I'll give you a real life example of a reporting, which is in this video as well. And you'll have access to those reporting. You'll have access to doing it on your own. So it's very hands-on keyboard practical training, because I know you can Google the programmatic definitions, but what I'm doing is bringing it in together. So think of the program as an accelerated program where you'll get a good understanding on the fundamentals of programmatic. So the definition, the landscape, the ecosystem, who is who and what is what. But also, now that you understand that, how to use it in your day-to-day. Now, this is perfect. This is a perfect program for anyone that works in the programmatic space, whether you've been working for a few years or you're just getting started. This program was meant for you. It is geared towards a junior level audience. However, you will be surprised the amount of executives, salespeople, traditional media buyers with years and years of experience, even some programmatic leads, directors signing on to this program because they know they can get real practical guides that they can use tomorrow in their day-to-day. So that is intended that way. And so enjoy this 10 minutes video. If you want to sign up, please visit the reach and frequency course.thinkific.com or scan the QR code. Sub categories, which is fine. It means it's just a little bit more niched. Not a lot of people take the time to really understand who the hell is LB Digital, or what is advisor, financial audience, doing way more than, performing way better, or on the opposite, why is Axiom US investment performing terrible? Because when you look at this likely attitude or behavior, my family and friends often ask for and trust my advice in real estate financials. Like, this should make sense for our, let's say, our business. Let's say if we have like a SMB ad group, but let's say it performs terrible versus, though, okay, so there's no other real estate. But let's say, okay, so there's Ad Advisor with banking and trust, and then there's LB Digital with trust. And so let's say if, oh man, Ad Advisor financial audience performed terrible compared to LB Digital, like I would want to know why. Like, why is Ad Advisor financial audience performing worse? And so I would do the same step. I would go in and do two things. I would make sure that the audience have enough audience segments. So remember in Choozle, okay, Choozle, when you were in this particular, I'm gonna show you real quick. Oh, biscuit, come on, man. Okay, there you go. When you were in Choozle and you went into your account, and I'm surprised that yes. I'm surprised that you haven't received anything, but I'm gonna try to get on that today. So when you go in Choozle, right? And then you click on your campaign,
Wait, let me make it bigger. Okay, so you see how I told you guys, oh, the audience is where you would come and create all your audience. This is what I mean by that. Is like maybe that particular audience doesn't have any more um it doesn't have any more identity, I mean, IDs in the audience. And so the best way to do it is when you come back to your DMP or to the audience segment, you look up the exact segments and then it'll tell you the data brand, it'll tell you potential impression, max CPM, and things like that. And then if this is under 100,000, I feel like it's not enough. Okay, so that could be a reason why when you get into your report, you see like, yo, we ain't spending any impressions, like what's going on? Like this segment title should make sense because all the other ones with similar titles are performing well. And so you reached out and then you understand why. So if there's not enough audiences, that segment was deprecated, it wasn't updated, you can just go ahead and remove it, right? But if there's audience, there's enough IDs, then you can reach out to this one partner and ask like, what the heck is this segment? Why aren't you not performing? There's also instances where, and this is why I really push you to take that extra step, is that if you look up LB Digital and you realize like, oh, well, this is a Starista based company, Starista have access to, I don't know, this is just an example to like visa data. So this is basically people using visa, right? Like this is their data. But let's say the ad advisor is more on a job title, right? So these are job titles based data. So it's different, it's a different type of data. And so maybe that explains why they're not performing here, but should be performing in others. You know what I mean? So all of this is how you become critical thinker. Like this is the difference between being good at your job and following what everybody else is doing and being amazing at the job, right? And I know you're able to be amazing, is taking that extra step. Now you will take a little bit longer, but with time, you're gonna be like, oh, I already know what who LB Digital is. And then you'll realize that, or in most of the campaigns you're running, you're picking those high performing data partner because you realize like, well, it works for this one, it should work for this one. And then you compare, right? And here's a great example of a bad, a great example of a bad example. When you look up the particular ad group that you're looking up, right? Let's say I'm looking up SunTrust and BB&T in Charlotte area. So this is our competitor to the bank that we're running. I'm coming over here and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's keep going. And I see UK. Well. Oh, look, it says Tourista here. Haha. I see UK based fintech UK banks. 955 impressions. Let's see, we're only spending about $5. I don't care if you spend $5 or $5,000. If it's outside of your geo, it should not be here. And very often we make that mistake. So the first thing I want you to do is remove those if it's in there, right? So like if you catch yourself, you'll be like, oops. Now if there's no impressions, I will still remove it because it doesn't look good on a report to a client. And most of our clients have direct access to our reporting. So we don't want that. We gotta clean it, be clean and organized. So clean all of those out. Another good example is that sometimes I'll say US. If it doesn't say US and there's no geo acronyms, it's you can assume that it's US based. But if you don't know, where is there you go. If you don't know, so over here you can't really tell, can you? That it's US based. But I know that in other DSPs like the Trade Desk or even DV360 or Viant, I'll have an additional column or filter where it's like US, global, whatever. Now, I've heard people say, well, we have a geo-targeting already filtered, like it's only going to target in Charlotte. So it should not target. And if it does, that's a DSP fault. I'm like, yeah, but you don't want to set them up for failure, please. You just make everybody's jobs easy. Be productive. It's so easy to make a mistake these days. Don't add another challenge that you know you can fix. You know what I mean? And so this is what I would do. I saw Philippines somewhere, UK. Here's another thing I want you to know, Canadian Tire, Canada. Okay, so these are all Canada, so you gotta remove them. Here's another thing I will tell you is that this one ad groups has, wait for it, 44 segments. That's a lot. So with people that grew up in this industry like myself, and we'll wrap it up in the next 5 minutes, guys. For people that are in my industry that grew up in this industry, like we started when programmatic was in infancy, right? We used to add 100,000s of those segments. It was like the bigger the data, the bigger the results, but it's no longer this case. Now you want to be strategic. And so if I ever come across a campaign has a lot of segments, I will select the top 5 to 10 maybe segments and run those, the best of the best performance based on your guide and based on what we've been doing. So for this time, this assignment is for the same ad group, okay? Whatever ad group you started doing with, where is it? Well, anyway, for the same ad group, I want you to look at the data element and then you do the same thing. What are the best performing one? What are the worst performing segment? And here's an additional step, and I don't know if you did it, Fahida, but the additional step is once you know, let's say you're bad, let me just use some of them as an example, okay? Let's say you know which one are terrible. You're going to change the color and then you're going to pivot in something called third-party data right above. Well, pivot it right here. And then you're going to look for, and this is just an example, okay? But you're going to look for the ones that have the most red. So this one is Data Alliance. And surprisingly, Data Alliance is actually the DMP from the trade desk, like native to the trade desk. Those are second-party data. And so I would I would reach out to the trade desk and ask them, why is this not performing based on whatever I've decided? And how can we make it perform? Give me some, like, explain yourself at this point. Like for instance, 100 by 2 from Enter Riyadh. I don't know them. I've heard of them, but I don't know them. If all of the segments are performing, then I would exclude this, right? And in my report, because you got to tell the client what's worked well and what did not work. In my report, I can even say this partner has not performed well because after finding out this is what's going on, right? And so this is the extra step you need to do to give me the high performing partners and the low performing partners. Now there are cases where, and I'll end with this, there's instances where some of those data partners, like let's say distillery, some of them have one or two of the red ones, so like the poor performing one, but every other segment is performing well. I mean, if there's one or two and the majority performs well, like I would still give it a try, right? Like I'll put in probation maybe. And then I'll reach out to distillery and say, hey, for this type of audience at this type of budget in this geo, why is this segment not performing compared to the other ones? You know what I mean? And so this is the extra step you're going to take that's different from the site, is that I want to understand which data partner have which data segments. And then I want you to start, and I'm going to refine this and make it more beautiful for you. But I'd like for you to start using this template and try to fill in the blank as much as possible. Any questions? Okay. And so next, a week from today, that is what we will do. We're going to review your analysis. So now you have a whole week to finish your sites, do the data elements. If you follow some of this and it's asking you for platform format or like schedule ads during best time of the day, obviously you're going to have to come to the time of the day and then use that same ad group and then pull this type of insight. You know what I mean? So there's things in this template that maybe I haven't showed you how to do it, but it's the same concept. It's just what stands out, what doesn't stand out. Okay? I can't find my Zoom. Okay, there it is. Okay, cool. Any questions? Can I help you with anything?
Good. Yeah, this cleared up a lot. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, I know it's a lot, guys, and I can't even apologize because this is only a demo, right? Like this is you have the opportunity to just take your time through this process. But in reality, like at the end of the month or maybe at the beginning of the following month, you'll have like 10 campaigns to do this for. That's why throughout the month, if you continue to use that template that I'm using and you take very good notes, and again, it's just taking notes at this point. Like when you get to the end of the month, you have 30 days worth of notes, even if you just optimize twice, at least you have those notes that you can start adding in. That's why it's so important to schedule your day or your week where every week at the same time, if possible, you look at optimizing, your trouble child campaign and then go from there.